So I'm gonna do a heart to Hannah today. I asked you on Instagram if you guys ever want to ask me stuff. You can follow me on Instagram. It's Hana I, and I usually like post on Insta story. You guys can check that out. I feel like next time I should post like at night so that people overnight who are not from this time zone can look at it. I need to think about that next time. Okay, so I will start with what to do when your initial career goals are not at all what you want to do. So I think that people change a lot with what they want to do. Like, I've noticed that a lot of my friends in SF who are, like, I consider them to be really successful for our age. Like, they all have really good jobs. They worked really hard to get there. Like, I know a bunch of guys who didn't major in engineering, and then they decided to take this boot camp to become developers, and now they all made it through and they all have really nice jobs and love what they're doing. But obviously before that they didn't really, like, obviously before that their current job wasn't what they wanted to do, so they made a change to strive for what they wanted. So I think that it's fine if at first you think you want something and then you try it and you don't really like it anymore. I think you do need to be a little bit smart about it, about how you make decisions, but I think that you should just try. I think that being in your 20s, generally being in your 20s, is a good time for you to test all these things out. The younger you are, typically the less responsibility you would have, and so I think this is a great time to just take as many opportunities as possible. So if you feel like what you're doing now isn't really what you want to be doing as a career, then just try other things. I mean, even now, like, I am not sure if I want to keep doing this forever, if I want to try and branch out. So I think there's always possibility for change as long as you work hard and just go for it. It's really scary though. Like, I'm telling you this, it's easier said than done. It's very much easier said than done. Like, I'm still figuring things out, but I don't think it's anything to be too scared of. I think that a lot of people go through that. If you could restart college, would you change your major? What would you change it to? Yes, I think I would honestly probably do like a marketing degree or probably coding or something like that. Like, I don't know if I would fully 100% enjoy coding, but I think that it would be very, very useful. Like, I could minor in something else and major in that. But I really wish I took like a business major, because my major is just, it's so useless. How do I forgive and move on without feeling resentment? I think this is kind of hard because it's really hard for me to know sometimes, like, in the process of forgiving, if I've forgiven someone, because I kind of forgive really easily. Like, I have a really, really bad temper, but it quells pretty quickly, and then I just don't care that it happened, or I like forget that it happened. I don't know if I necessarily forgive, but I forget. I'm trying to change that now. I'm trying to forgive but not forget. I think that's smarter. But anyways, I had to do a really big forgiving thing this past summer, and I think honestly, like, this was the time that I learned the most. I think that when you're forgiving someone, I think for me, when I'm forgiving someone, I've realized that I can really sense a genuine, I can sense when they genuinely feel sorry and they really are apologetic and want to change. It's you know how there's like that thing about the way you say sorry is important, like you say, I'm sorry for XYZ and I will do ABC to fix it, kind of thing, or try and fix a relationship. And so I think that that's really important, and when I can feel the sincerity and I hear the apology set up that way, it's just like, everybody makes mistakes. I have made a ton of mistakes that I wish and hoped and have been forgiven for, and like, I can't just sit here and not forgive someone for making a mistake when I've made so many. It's just not right, you know? So if I can feel like the honesty behind the apology, it's just way easier to forgive them for me. I am definitely the kind of person, it's very easy for me to let things go and just continue on, but I am trying to be smarter about how many times to let things go. So yeah, I think in that way it's easy for me to not hold resentment, because I guess that's the definition of forgiving someone. But for other people, it might also be a combination of that and just time, maybe space. But I would just try different things out. Only you kind of know what you want and who you are. So I genuinely want to know how you're doing. I hope thinking nothing but happy thoughts. Thank you. I am okay. I don't think I am the happiest I've been. I think this was a really, really, really rough year for me. But I do think that I'm really, really, really blessed, and so that keeps me really happy. And I'm not the type of person to really wallow in my sadness or anything, so I think I'm doing okay. Okay, so how do you and Jimmy I just cut my bangs again because I feel like they have like a cozy look to them and I wanted it for winter, but now I'm like, eh. So this one is, how do you and Jimmy address issues with each other in your relationship? And I think obviously be honest. And another thing is just the way, understanding your partner and remembering to just speak to them in a way that they would be most receptive to. So a lot of people think that just being honest is like the forefront of it all, but it's like, it is, but it isn't. So like being honest is really important. Oops. Being honest is really important, but for example, some people are okay with other people being blunt. So my mom, when she talks to me, she's really like, she's really blunt. I feel like a lot of Korean moms are, but she's just not afraid to tell me her thoughts, and I have grown to accept that because I know my mom's personality. She's not trying to hurt my feelings. She's just being honest. But I feel like for someone like my sister who is a little bit more sensitive, my mom definitely changes the way she talks to her or gives her honest feedback. She kind of lightens the blow a little bit, I guess. So I think that's kind of how me and Jimmy talk to each other. Like we kind of understand how the other person receives things and how they act on things based on how they hear them, if that makes sense. So for example, with Jimmy, I never tell him to do something. I tell him why I think he might want to do something a certain way and why. Like it has to be very logical and a reasonable decision. How has it been conquering things you couldn't do before? It's been very good. I think I've slowed down a bit on that because, well, no. I think I am trying to conquer other things, which I haven't really been recording because maybe I should. But yeah, so I think that first video I did where I faced my insecurities, I'll link it up here if you haven't watched, but that video really just made it so much easier for me. Like I would look back on that video and think, oh, I did that, so I can do this. Just take it slow, I can do it. I actually drove to Sonoma this past weekend all by myself. Well, no, I had Jimmy and then 2 other people in the back, but I mean, I drove the whole way there and back, so I was pretty proud of myself. How to deal with jealousy. I feel like I'm too clingy and want to be more independent too. Love you. Love you. So I guess you're asking me this because you know that I was a super jealous person when I first met Jimmy. And I think just honestly, I think that getting over jealousy is kind of a process because it's definitely like a trust issue thing. It might be something that you're very used to feeling. And honestly, like, so I was jealous because 1, I was 18 when I met him. I was really young, you know. And then 2, my boyfriend before Jimmy, he like kissed another girl and then told me that like it was a mistake, and then I forgave him, and then 2 weeks later he was like, just kidding, I want to be with her. So I think I was kind of jaded by that, I guess. And so I was really jealous, and I was obviously really insecure when I was dating Jimmy. And then At one point, I think Jimmy relayed to me that you are overbearing. Basically telling me that my jealousy was putting a lot of stress on the relationship, and it was very overbearing to him because he's a very independent person. And so I was thinking to myself, you know, if someone was doing this to me, I wouldn't want it. And I also just need to understand him as a person, and he's just likes to recharge on his own, and I just need to respect that. And so I think after that wake-up call, I was like, okay, well, what can I do to fix this? And basically it took a while, but I started trying to do things on my own without him, or like with my friends. And then eventually, like, I filled up my time with other things that I didn't really like need him to come with me or want him to come with me as much. And obviously we'd still see each other and stuff, but it was just a lot easier for me to get over it, especially in college when, you know, we're all meeting new people and stuff. Like, I'm really glad that I got over it, you know? Hopefully that helps. Try and like fill your time by doing things on your own or with other people, and it'll get a lot better, and you'll feel a lot less jealous. And also remember that you both have your own space and life. How to deal with feeling lost, currently doing college apps and not knowing what I want to do with your life. I think that most people never know what they want to fully do with their life. I think that you can accomplish one goal at a time. Like, I think every stage of life you have a different goal, right? When you're in school, it's just to get to the next school or to get the next grade on the test or whatever. But then when you're graduating college, it's to get the job. And then you're like, wait, but this job might be like the job that determines my life, which is not true. Like I said before, people have career changes all the time, but it feels like that for sure. It feels like that. And it feels like if you don't meet that expectation, you're a failure, because maybe like 5 of your other friends got really nice internships or something like that. That's definitely how I felt. I graduated college without a job. I had literally had nothing. I took a part-time job at a doggy daycare when I graduated college, when I moved to San Francisco. And so I feel you. I was super, super lost. Actually, you know what's so weird? Like, I think I felt super lost at the time, but not as lost as I feel now. I think at the time, like, I was so passionate about becoming a YouTuber and like just making content. It just really fueled and excited me that I was really focused on that, and I just didn't feel as lost. Like, I felt financially lost. I was like, how am I gonna make money? But I think passion-wise, what I want to do with my life, I was very fulfilled. And right now I still am, but I think I'm at an age and a different point in my life where I want something more. And so, what was the question? Oh, so if you're feeling lost, don't worry. I think in every stage of your life, even when you're like 60, you're gonna feel some kind of lost in your life. And right now, it's a good kind of lost for you. For me too, I feel like. This feeling of lost is very frustrating and scary, but I've kind of looked at it as a way to create another opportunity for myself, to have another goal to look forward to and to work hard towards, because I feel like those are what make life fun. And so maybe think of it that way, like you're doing college apps or what are you doing? Yeah, you're doing college applications and you're feeling lost, but how exciting is it that one of these new schools could be your new home for the next 4 years? And how many new friends you're gonna make in a new city, you can try all this new food, like, it's just fun. So just try and think about it that way and how much you'll learn, and it's exciting. A lot of you guys are asking me about my Korean drama recommendations and Extraordinary You and When the Camellia Blooms. You're welcome. What do you like about having a partner? Love you. Love you. I think what I like is just the feeling that someone understands you in a way. Like, I think it took us a long time, but I think that Jimmy really gets why I feel the feelings that I do, and I think it's just nice to feel loved. That was so cheesy. But I do feel like it's very nice to feel loved, and it's just a very genuine feeling, which I feel like takes a lot of work and time to build up to with someone. And so I really, really cherish that. I think I love him. Let's do one more. Okay, so there's like 3 of these kinds of questions. What's something you would say to a younger Hannah? I kind of mentioned this briefly like before, but to take as many opportunities as you can. I think that I'm still in my 20s, so a lot of people are gonna say I'm still young. But I think in college and my early 20s, I think that I didn't realize how many opportunities were out there for me. And I think it's important to just really search for them and just take them. You know, this is generally a time in your life where you should be experimenting with things and, you know, figuring out more of who you are and what you want to do. And I just wish I took more opportunities. Like, I was just so focused on getting a good grade in school that for a major I didn't even like, that I just feel like I missed out. So I think that would be my advice. And if you guys are in your 20s, early 20s or 20s, or you're in college and you're trying to figure out what you want to do, don't like freak out over getting an A. You know, if you're learning material, I think that's what counts. If you enjoy your major, I think that's what counts. If you're trying your best, I think that's what counts. Don't try like, trying your best doesn't mean pulling an all-nighter every single day for an exam. That's not productive, and you're not getting the experience. I mean, once in a while an all-nighter is a great experience because like you're up with your friends and you're all stressed out and misery brings people together. But experience-wise, I didn't join enough things. I didn't go out and do enough things. I always stayed in my room and studied so much. And so, I wish I just did more stuff. I think the biggest opportunity that I grabbed was moving to San Francisco. And I'm so thankful for that. Just like living somewhere new and doing something without, like, I had nothing and doing something, you know, having nothing and like, I don't know. I mean, I didn't have nothing. I had Jimmy, and Jimmy's amazing, but like I didn't have a job. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just graduated. It was a very scary time. But I think grabbing the opportunity it definitely changed my perspective on life. So I would say just try as many things as possible. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but that's my advice. Okay, I think that's gonna be it. I will try and do another one, or I will try and do a like relationship talk with Jimmy. I haven't done that in a really, really, really long time. I don't know if he'll have time for that. I'll ask him. If you guys want us to do that, let me know. And I hope you like this video, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye. Pew!